Welcome to Sisters Conversations Podcast with your hostess, Latrice Carter. We feature interviews in literary, film, and television, as well as real topics that impact the Black community.
Welcome to Sisters Conversations with Latrice Carter, your hostess. On today's show, I have my author spotlight with my very special guest, Judy Hewitt. Let me tell you a little bit about her before we jump right into our interview. Author Judy A. Hewitt has co-authored her first anthology, For Such a Time as This, joined by 19 other men and women authors. She believes readers will be inspired by the amazing accounts of transformation and resilience. For Such a Time as This, a global initiative, allows the body of Christ to come forward through sharing testimonies of triumph to help move others from place of victim to victor. She plans to continue writing thought-provoking short stories. Hewitt's chapter, The Power of Forgiveness, reveals her truth of long-held resentment, anger, and pain. Although she understands forgiveness means different things to different people, she believes it all begins with a decision to release the pain and begin living life with a lighter heart. Hewitt has a Bachelor's of Science in Business Administration and a minor in Healthcare Administration. Her career spans 17 years as a disability case manager. Originally a native of Trinidad and Tobago, she now calls Florida home, devoted to her 4 grandchildren and the memory of her son, Ronald C. Hewitt. She enjoys writing poetry, the arts, and music. So, welcome to Sisters Conversations, Judy. Hey, Judy.
Hey, how are you, Latrice?
I'm doing well.
So much for having me.
You are
Thank
so
you.
welcome. So welcome. I'm glad you can be on the show today.
Absolutely. Yes, same here. My pleasure.
Tell us about Anthology, For Such a Time as This, The Power of Forgiveness. Give our audience a little summary overview about what about that you are contributing as an author.
Sure, I'll be happy to do so. Now, this collection of stories from men and women who decided to move past mountains of uncertainty and life mishaps because they knew that God had called them to fulfill a bigger purpose for their lives. You're going to get real stories with real transformation, real faith. So that is the anthology For Such a Time as This. Now, as you mentioned, my chapter, the chapter of forgiveness, the readers will discover a definite way to acknowledge the hurt and resentment associated with unforgiveness. Now, the readers will learn how there is no quick fix to forgiveness. Secondly, it requires you to show up and do the work. You have to do the work. It also begins with a decision. You have to make a decision to let it go. Now, lastly, forgiveness is not for you or me, it's for the other person. It's like a gift that you give to yourself. So that's about the summary on my title and the book, and we're just so excited.
That's good. You know what? And it's always good to hear real life stories, because those real life stories inspire and empower other people who are probably going through what you guys have already, claimed victory over.
Absolutely.
And it gives them like a leg up, like, wait a minute, she did it or he did it. I can do it too.
I can do it too. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And I think not only is the title of the book, For Such a Time as This, good in the time that we are in now. Because the times that we're in now, God is actually calling us.
Yes, he is.
Tell our stories. It set people free. It breaks bondages.
Yes.
So I think that the book itself is so on time. The title of the book and the story of Esther.
It is. What drew you to this particular project, anthology project, for such a time as this?
Well, speaking about what I just mentioned, when I read the anchor scripture for this anthology, Esther 4:14, when I read the first line, and I'm going to read it, says, "For if you remain silent," Latrice, the words literally just captured my heart. I literally started weeping. And I just felt that God was telling me, it is my time to speak. It just happened so easy, like it was a great transition. So that's what really called me to it. Once I read the first chapter, the first sentence in the chapter of Esther, I was sold. That was my why.
Yeah, okay. Okay, see, you got that yes from God. You're like, this now is time to use your voice.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I like that. I love that. What was your inspiration for writing your contributing story, The Power of Forgiveness?
So my inspiration for writing this particular story, matter of fact, I'm going to backtrack a little. I had a few stories before I came to this one. I was sort of just writing, and it was like everything just wasn't coming together. So when I finally finite everything, the title came after I actually did the body. But my inspiration for writing the chapter, I wanted to let people know about the joy and the freedom that I experienced as a result of forgiving and not holding on to any type of resentment for a family member. It was like a burden that was lifted. And I really feel that it can inspire others. I mean, we're in a time now where, unfortunately, people are dying, and you don't want to have any unresolved relationships. You want to be able to have no regrets. So that was my inspiration.
That's beautiful. That is a beautiful inspiration. And, like you said, a lot of people are being called home, and he's calling home young, old. He's there's no age, there's no age discrimination. Absolutely.
Yes.
So did you find it easy to write your story?
It was a great release. So that was the easiness of it. I do have to mention, however, some of those feelings surfaced, even though it's 10 years ago. So I literally had to go back into my prayer closet. But it was great writing it as it was a release, finally, to get it out on paper, to revisit the story and to really, kind of get closure.
Yeah. You dealt with the emotions of that.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Now, we allow all of our authors in our author spotlight to, you can read up to 3 minutes a part of your anthology, and I will give you the stage to go right ahead.
Oh, thank you. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's see here. I'm going to start in the middle so I don't. I can get a great point across here. Have you ever experienced wanting to be loved and accepted by someone and you could not get past the hurt? Could have been a colleague who sabotaged a project, or your partner who had an affair, perhaps a parent or a family member who criticized you when you were growing up. These wounds leave you angry and bitter. And the practice of forgiveness can give you hope, joy, and allow you to move on in life with purpose. It can build up your self-esteem and increase your spiritual growth. Forgiveness matters. It can allow for healthier relationship, reduce stress and anxiety. Through my process of forgiveness, I learned to acknowledge the hurt, understand that you cannot change the past, make a conscious decision to forgive, and persistently work on forgiveness, as it is just a process. Now, with prayer and releasing these emotional bondage, it's because of what is written in Matthew 11:25. Whenever you stand, pray, forgive if you have anything against anyone, so that your Father in heaven will also forgive you your transgressions.
Right. That's good. I like that. That is very good.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
so
you.
welcome. So how does it feel to see your story in print? And what message do you want the readers to walk away with after reading your chapter, The Power of Forgiveness?
It is so exciting. I'm in awe of God, because he told me that I was going to write a long time ago.
Mhm.
Okay. And so finally I got intentional and put it on my goals list for this year. Didn't know it would come the way it came, and everything is just going at such a fast rate that I am super excited. I feel that he's being that Ephesians 3:20 God, where everything is just happening exceedingly and abundantly. It's a sweet spot. So
Mhm.
I am very excited to see my story in print. Now, the message that I want to portray, I want to basically let everyone know that you cannot you cannot change your past again. And yes, you do have to forgive. That I want my readers to take away is realize you cannot change your past, make a conscious decision to forgive and work at it. And then lastly, seek out scriptures and affirmations to replace those painful memories. Because whenever they revisit, you're going to have to replace that with something. And therefore, you'll find out that you'll be happier, you'll be in a better place, you'll be joyous, So that is what I really want the message to come across.
Awesome. Awesome. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. So what are you reading now? Because all authors, I tell all authors, okay, you're a writer, but your writers read. So what are you reading?
Right. So I am actually reading Resilience in Hard Times. It's another anthology where you have a lot of stories of, real life transformation. And as a matter of fact, it turned out that it was a bestseller. So that's what I'm reading now,
Okay.
Resilience in Hard Times.
Okay. Awesome. Beautiful. So what did you learn about the writing and publishing process?
That is a great question. So I learned the process of working with an editor. I didn't know that how they would make the story come alive. The marketing and the virtual tours were very exciting to me. Like I really love, like setting things up and having, things look really well where it's marketable. So I really love that aspect. But most importantly, I learned to staff my weaknesses. I am not techie, so I needed a lot of support in that area. So it was really, really a great experience thus far.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. What advice would you share to someone who desires to write their first book now that you've gone through the publishing process?
Sure. I will rather inform someone to start writing regularly. Have it as a set schedule on your calendar, whether it's 30 minutes every other day or however, because then, it just starts flowing. As well as definitely you need to get a coach to help you along in that area. It is very imperative because a coach keeps you from going through the little pit holes that comes along with the process of publishing and getting everything out. So that will be my advice.
Okay, very good advice. Very good advice. So will you be writing a solo or participating in more anthologies?
So yes, I'm so glad you asked that. So I will be participating in another anthology sometime in the beginning of 2022. And I have a solo project in mind. I will start working on it next year in 2022,
Mhm.
hopefully releasing either the following year or maybe the end of next year. I'm not really sure. But I do have a couple of, at least a couple of solo projects that I will like to do, but I am gonna do the anthology again. I think we're gonna start more or less talking about that before the end of this year. So yes.
Okay. Okay, that's good. That's good. Anthologies continue to get you exposure, and it continues to help you build your readership. So that's like a great tool, great resource for authors.
I'm so glad that you said that, because I will say to anyone who is starting out that that is really one way to test the waters out, and you're not totally consumed with writing 200-300 pages. You know, if you
Mhm.
want to write a memoir or an autobiography, you know,
Mhm.
it's more intense. I would suggest that. You're absolutely right.
Yes, absolutely. What did you learn about yourself during the pandemic in 2020 that you are doing differently in 2021?
Wow, I'm sure 2020 on everybody's list
Mhm.
have a lot of things that we are changing. But one of the things that I started doing is to be present and take in the moments, because life is too short.
Mhm.
So I am actually being more intentional.
Mhm.
One routine that I have started is self-care.
Yes.
I either do either weekly, or if not, I make sure it's every other week
Mhm.
that I take a day to myself. And whether it's me communing by myself at home or go to a spa or, you know,
Mhm.
something like that, I am being really intentional about self-care.
Yes. Self-care is so important because self-care affects our mental, physical, and
Yes,
and body. It's
absolutely.
so important.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It
That's a good
absolutely
one.
is.
That is a good one. I incorporated self-care in my
You
regimen too.
do?
Yes.
Oh,
Um,
awesome.
yeah. So, and one of my I kind of do like I do one for my mind, body, and spirit. For my spirit,
Right.
I check out of sight out of social media, because there's so much trauma that's constantly being replayed. It hits your mental psyche. So
Yes.
I just made it, I'm like, no, not doing that. I'm not sitting watching someone get beaten and all this other stuff on social media. I check out.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. 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 Yes,
Mhm.
ma'am. I totally agree.
Yes, yes. Not disturbing your peace.
Peace. Oh my
Yes.
gosh. And you know what makes a big difference? I mean, just to be at home with no music or no, anything
Nothing.
playing, and you're just, communing, it's so good. It's like you just knock out the noise.
Yes.
And it really is good. And I think that helps us to be a little healthier longer.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Longevity.
Yes. Yes. And it allows you to get closer to God too.
Absolutely. Oh, definitely. Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
let's not take it to church now, okay?
Yeah.
But yes,
Hey,
ma'am.
don't get me started.
Oh, yes,
Because I got
ma'am.
my own testimony. Okay. Come on now.
I know, I know.
So, where can our listeners get a copy of For Such a Time as This, the anthology?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for asking that. Now, you can purchase an autographed copy at www.judy, as in Apple, Hewitt.com. That is www.judyahewitt.com. It's $25. It does include shipping. We are taking orders now, and books are going to be mailed out in December, right in time for the holidays. So get a nice holiday gift for someone that likes reading. The stories are great. You can put it down and pick it back up and, not really miss like if you're doing a whole book. So really a good gift idea as well.
Okay. All right. Y'all heard it here first. All right now. So, so tell our listeners how they can connect with you on social media and how they can stay informed on your projects that you may have coming up.
Sure. Thanks again. So on Facebook pages, I am Judy Ann Hewitt. On YouTube channel, it's Judy A. Hewitt. Again, the website, judyahewitt.com. And we're building the other platforms as we speak. So that's to come. But mostly the website will have all of the information that can get you to all of the other social media outlets once we get those things established.
Awesome. Well, you guys, make sure you go ahead and pre-order For Such a Time as This. This is a great opportunity with men and women who are sharing their own personal testimony that will inspire you, empower you, encourage you, and give you hope. It's an example that you can lead with. So go ahead and pick up your copies today. Go to Judy's website, and I'm going to mention it again. It is judyahewitt.com. Go there, follow her on all social media, connect with her, talk with her, get to know her.
Thank you. Yes.
Judy, thank you so much for coming on the show today, sharing your personal journey and your testimony and your story for the upcoming release of For Such a Time as This. Sisters Conversations, we support you. We appreciate you. And congratulations on your first of many.
Yes.
I want to see more from you now.
Yes, Lord. Thank you, Latrice. It was such a pleasure speaking with you. This has been such a great opportunity. Truly amazing.
Oh, you are so welcome. So welcome. So guys, that is our show today. Y'all stay blessed, stay safe. And again, follow Sisters Place on all social media platforms, subscribe to our YouTube channel. And remember, you can catch our podcast on Spreaker Radio, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple, and so many more platforms. There's 10 streaming channels that we are on, and you guys, make sure wherever you get your podcast, make sure you check us out and support our authors. They need your support. They will bless you with the amazing story and amazing journey. So until next time, y'all be safe.
Thanks to our special guests for joining the show today. Be sure to follow us on your favorite streaming channel so you don't miss a show. We can be heard on Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, and YouTube at Sisters Place. Visit our website, www.sistersplace.com, to learn more about us.